Apex Legends Year 2 was a transformative period for the Battle Royale game. Let's look back at just how much the game has evolved in the past year. If you enjoy this recap, we'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel for more Apex. Without further ado, let's talk about the year that was for Apex Legends. Apex Legends Year 2 started in February 2020 with Season 4, Assimilation. The season added Revenant as a playable character, and the Sentinel sniper rifle as a new weapon. The Sentinel is the first of its kind for Apex Legends, as it can be charged to fire more powerful shots. To lessen the impact of the Sentinel, and sniper rifles in general, sniper rifles were given their own ammo pool, limiting your inventory space. One of the most open-ended areas of World's Edge, Fuel Depot, and the field around it, also became the landing ground for a massive harvester, removing a major sniper sightline and splitting the map down the middle. Respawn also used the new year to take a good look at weapon balancing in regards to energy weapons. The Devotion was moved into care packages, and the L-Star became a general loot weapon. The Turbocharger was also removed, nerfing the Havoc. Though several characters had undergone buffs, nerfs, and other balancing changes throughout Year 1, Year 2 saw more drastic updates to characters in order to change how you played as them. Season 4 kicked that off with a major adjustment to Bloodhound, buffing their ability to track down enemy squads. In March, System Override added Evo Shields. The shields were a game changer. They started as the weakest body armor in the game, but grew more powerful as you damaged enemies, eventually surpassing purple and gold armor in terms of protection. In this way, they encouraged players to move away from staying put and bunkering down, a strategy that had become all too common since the introduction of Wattson in Season 2. Players were receptive to Evo Shields, and, following the event, Respawn permanently added them to Apex Legends. Up next, the Old Ways event permanently brought back Duos mode and Kings Canyon with a new map rotation feature. The event also added Bloodhound's Trials to World's Edge, blue loot bins with secret compartments that only Lifeline can open, and a huge buff to Revenant. In May, Season 5 Fortune's Favor added Loba to Apex Legends. Following Pathfinder's transformation into a recon character, Loba became Apex Legends' second support legend alongside Lifeline. Loba's ability to supply teammates with any item made her the more useful of the two though, sparking conversations that Lifeline was due for a buff. Also in Season 5, Respawn pulled the now way too dominant Peacekeeper shotgun from the general loot pool and went into care packages, switching places with the Mastiff shotgun. To account for all of Apex Legends' evolving narrative threads, a new story-driven PvE mode, Quest, was added. Quest encouraged players to tune in every week for new lore and revelations, like a serial TV show. Conditional legend chatter was also added to reflect the now changing relationships between the playable characters. It was a cool way to address a problem that other hero shooters usually ignore, that strange matchups where enemies are suddenly just working together. In a first for Apex Legends, one of its original characters got a significant rework in Season 5, with all three of Mirage's abilities changing in order to make him a more successful trickster. Other characters would get updated abilities later in Season 5 during its Lost Treasures event. Lifeline's Combat Medic passive was replaced with Combat Revive, making her the only legend who can revive a squad mate and fight simultaneously. Octane's jump pad was changed to allow players to double jump off it, making it easier to aggressively push on fights. Watson's intercept pylon no longer remained indefinitely to reinforce her role as a strategic defender that focused on careful placement. And Wraith's phase walk was altered so that it was slower to activate, but she can now see enemies while using it, making its use less for escape and more so for repositioning while attacking. Loba's introduction also marked the destruction of Skulltown, the most popular drop spot in the entire game, reinforcing the notion that Respawn wasn't above taking away what players loved in order to shake up Apex Legends meta and craft new experiences. However, it became increasingly obvious as time went on that Skulltown's destruction had seriously messed with the overall balance of Kings Canyon. The loss of the landmark had made Apex Legends' smallest map feel even smaller. The addition of Crypto's map room during Lost Treasures did not help. Lost Treasures also saw the introduction of mobile respawn beacons, providing a way for players to bring back teammates from anywhere. In August, Season 6 Boosted introduced Rampart as a playable character, a weapon modder who excels with light machine guns. Interestingly, Rampart is the 6th Apex Legends character to use a Titanfall 2 pilot ability as the basis for her tactical, as her amped wall is a variation on Titanfall 2's A-wall. This just leaves Cloak as the only remaining Titanfall 2 pilot ability to not have provided inspiration for a new Apex Legends character. And speaking of Titanfall 2, Season 6 saw the introduction of the Volt, a fan-favorite submachine gun from Respawn's sophomore effort. Season 6 saw World's Edge get another makeover. The Devotion also returned to the general loot pool, as did the Turbocharger hop-up. Meanwhile, the R99 was rotated into care packages. Quest was also changed. Instead of PvE missions, the mode now offers a new issue of the Apex Legends comic every season, with new pages for each issue unlocked on a weekly basis. This is a better way to relay Apex Legends' story. It was too difficult to read text conversations while fighting off enemies in PvE missions. In Season 6, the entire Recon class was changed so that they all gained Pathfinder's ability to hack into survey beacons and reveal the position of the next ring for their squad. Crypto was also buffed beyond the new passive ability, finally giving the legend with one of the lowest pick rates some much needed utility. With the exception of gold body armor, all body armor became Evo Shields in Season 6, and all players now drop with Evo Shields already equipped, albeit at level 0. It wasn't perfect at first, far from it actually. Evo Shields were initially way too weak to compensate for Apex Legends' aggressive meta, but Respawn would continue to tweak and rebalance Evo Shields in the first few weeks of the season, and they're now at a really good place. Season 6 also added crafting. Through the collection of materials during a match, players could go to Replicators and craft ammo, weapon hop-ups and attachments, Evo Shield improvements, and more. Like mobile respawn beacons, Replicators allowed squads to exist and fight for a little longer, even after suffering setbacks, and the hunt for more materials encouraged squads to remain mobile. In October, the Aftermarket event introduced crossplay support. A less popular change, Aftermarket also adjusted Wraith's running animation, forcing the character into a more upright run in order to make her incredibly tiny hitbox much easier to hit. Fans were, and honestly still are, a bit miffed about the change, but it's admittedly a good one considering that Wraith continues to dominate in all aspects of play. Making her easier to shoot is a far more agreeable adjustment to just nerfing her abilities again. Its new Shadow Royale mode is the first time that Titanfall 2's wall running was implemented into Apex Legends, if only for a limited time. Horizon, a gravitational manipulator who can change the layout of a battlefield when attacking, was added to Apex Legends in Season 7 Ascension, which started in November. Horizon dropped into the game already plenty powerful. Her ability to quickly ascend multiple stories or drag enemies out of cover makes her terrifyingly adaptable. The R99 rejoined the general loot pool while the Prowler submachine gun became a care package weapon. The select fire hop-up was removed, replaced by quick draw holster. Apex Legends was also released for Steam, and to ensure that players across all platforms could more easily find others to squad up with, in-game clubs were implemented. The season added a brand new map to Apex Legends, Olympus, where players could drive the game's first vehicles, Tridents. As the game's third map, Olympus feels like Respawn's best effort yet. The lack of too many open deserts or fields prevents snipers from being overpowered. Olympus is a packed map, only more so after January's Fight Night event, which added the Fight Night ring. Tridents have been an intriguing, albeit disappointing experiment. They are strictly a means of getting around and present no offensive or defensive threat. In fact, your squad is at a disadvantage by riding in one, as you all take damage from enemy attacks if the Trident is hit. They're also incredibly noisy. Very few people ride in Tridents now, which makes the vehicles feel essentially moot. At the start of Season 7, Respawn also completely reworked the point system and structure for challenges and Battle Pass levels. The new system rewarded long-term investment, so instead of progressing through the Battle Pass at a fairly consistent rate, the new system rewarded very little upfront, only unlocking a flurry of Battle Pass levels after investing many hours of play. Additionally, challenges were much more specific, requiring players to complete some of them with a certain legend, as opposed to having the option of 3 or 4 different characters. This made it unfair for anyone who hadn't bought all of Apex Legends' 9 extra characters, which now vastly outnumbered the 6 free characters. Fans were very vocal about their displeasure with these changes, but to Respawn's credit, the developer quickly implemented hotfixes that ultimately changed Season 7's Battle Pass and challenges so that progression matched that seen in Season 6. And with that, you're all caught up on the biggest changes that happened to Apex Legends in Year 2. How do you feel about the year, and what was your favorite change that Respawn made? Sound off in the comments below. If you want to go back and look at our Year 1 retrospective, hit the link, and consider subscribing for more Apex Legends.